from your question, what I believe you're asking is that, is it done at both unit level and also integration level? As a developer, they should do, if a code set is, if you find a bug in your code, you should fix the bug, retest the bug, then you do a regression, just a run through of that to ensure that that code did not break anything. Then you deploy it. In integration phase, certainly both retesting and regression works absolutely there in both. Is that clear?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, Sheon Rotiba, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for the lectures. I want to ask my question also from the area of the testing.
Okay.
What I want to ask is, based on what we have here, that we have the unit testing, the integration testing, the system testing, and the acceptance testing. So I would like to ask, when you want to test maybe a software, must you start from the unit testing, or you can just decide to go to the system testing and see if the whole system is all right, then you move to the acceptance testing, or you need to first start sequentially from the unit to the integration to the system and then to the acceptance?
So, from your question, the way it works is you have been divided into a team now. There's nothing, let's say it's a greenfield project, nothing is happening. There's nothing there now. You can't test it. There's no application, nothing. You can't test it. Unit testing is mainly code-based. So if there are no code, if things have not been built, you can't test it. So hence, you can't move directly to system testing. Let me tell you the logic about test level. You can't jump it. It starts from the first block. If unit testing is not done, forget it, we've not started testing. Because those are the phases that needs to be done. If unit testing is done, if integration level is not done, you cannot test anything in system testing. So it is a process. It is a step by step. It's just like a baby that is delivered today. It can't start walking. It needs to first learn the rigor of how to work. It needs to crawl. From crawling, everything needs to be formed. Then it will stand. Then it will start learning how to walk. So if nothing is being built, you cannot test. So if there's no unit testing, sorry, there's no integration testing. So it's until you have done the unit testing, they have developed the code, everything is done, then it's integration testing. I've told you unit testing is in bits. We need to bring everything together, hence integration. After then it goes further to system testing, then system testing to acceptance testing. So you can't jump it. Does that answer your question, Roti? I mean, Sheon?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Okay. So, sorry, I had my mic muted. I wanted to ask about length of bug reports. So, someone is asking about length of bug reports. If I understand the question, do you mean length, like how long the bug could be? Or if you have your mic, if you could explain what you mean, but if it's been the length of bug reports, it's just the list of bugs that you have. It's just a report. So list of bugs, the status, like what we treated yesterday, when it comes to if it's new, if it's assigned, if it's that. So those are the things that you just look forward to when it comes to the report. So once you have it, maybe you can query to have all closed box, query to write a query to also have all your open box. What is the difference? So someone is asking, what's the difference between component and integration testing? Component integration testing and system integration testing. So can API testing be classified as integration testing? API testing. Yes, it could also be classified as integration testing because API testing is application programming interface. This is more of a backend validation too. So you're testing in backend, querying the data from the backend. So more of when I mean components integration testing, you're talking about unit integration testing and system integration testing. So units, these are more about you bringing the code back to life, end to end. Seat integration testing is mainly in the system. End to end is done mainly maybe in the devs environment. Then seat integration testing, you have now gotten the system. You are testing in the integration environment, in the test environment. Some environment are called seat environment. So that's the difference. Is just one is unit testing, the other one is system testing, and unit is more on the code base, and also the integration, system integration testing is in that. Is test case design technique comprises of unit testing, integration testing? Yeah, because most of these things are interwoven when it comes to the technique. So test case design technique are the ones we learned yesterday, which has to do with equivalent partitioning, Brown River, all those phases, system, the tree, specification-based approach, structure-based approach, and also the experience-based approach. So all these are test case design. Know the depth of the report. How is the detail? How in detail should you go? Okay, know the depth of the report. Okay, how in detail can you go when it comes to reporting? So to me, I always advise if it's not a TCR, that's test closure report. If it's more of a daily report, people don't make sure that you've given, it shouldn't be 26 pages. No. 5, at least more like 3-5 pages. In fact, if it's not a big project, you can do a 1 page. What you want to state in the report is, I'm working on this project in test environment. In your report, you want to know, is there any blocker? Write the blocker there. These are the number of scripts that have been achieved today. This is what has passed. If you want to add a defect density that we talked about, so you can add a defect density. Maybe this is where all the defects are being clustered. So it gives them the visibility of it. If you also want to add a schedule, are you within the time range? You can add it there. And last of it all, you can add a defect list and also add your mitigation plan against it. So what is mitigation plan? Defect A, maybe it's been triaged. Login not working. So it's been triaged currently with the developers. According to the developers, ready for fixed, finish. That's the mitigation plan. So that goes that way. So which of this technique is more suitable for either automation or manual? Or at these stages, they are for both. They are for both. So if you're asking that this technique, all the techniques you're having here, It's for both manual and automation. So it's for both manual and automation. Yeah. Any other question? So okay, Olamide.
Thank you so much, Jamie. See, I'm
Yeah.
crying already. I'm not so happy I missed this class. And I actually follow a link to another offline meeting, and I prefer to stay on while the meeting is live and not listening over again if possible. But is it possible? Can we always avoid a kind of clash in any meeting or lecture? Is that
Yeah,
possible?
to be honest, Olamide, the way this thing works is that if you're on the platform, you are added to the platform. The links are always sent 15 minutes before the time, 30 minutes before the time, even immediately, I think on that dot of the time is always sent. Just go to the link. That same link is what you use in joining the class. Do you understand? So anytime you want to, is used in joining the class. And also you can go back to the videos. I understand how you feel, but don't worry. You can go back to the videos and just watch it. If you've got any questions when you're watching it, you could just pop it in the chat for us and we'll actually help out and speak to you. And of course, I can help out by then to let you know any question you've got. Please. So, does that answer your question?
Yes.
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 So, you said what's not?
It's all right. I'll speak
Yeah.
to. I will speak
Yeah.
to.
What
Well,
was it? Just what you do in the admin, just send a chat, and I need to know the reason because I think this is the second or third time this is happening to you. Am I
yeah,
correct?
at times I'm seeing different link. There's another meeting going on at the same time. I,
But you are registered in
also,
QA.
it's also Upsilon. Upsilon is on that QA. QA is part of Upsilon team.
Okay, I'll look into it, Olamide. Please let someone please any admin on the call, please just help take Olamide's name. We'll speak to you later and correct that link. Or you could just send it on the chat. I will have to make note of that and I'll let you know. So yeah, sorry about that again. Have you heard? So yeah. So my own question for tonight. I would quickly ask you my question because I want to give you some minutes to go and take water or coffee before you start your next meeting. So in tonight, we were talking about two things, entry and exit criteria. So what is entry criteria? Anybody ready to help? Entry criteria? Unmute, help me. Entry criteria.
The criteria that you must meet before you can start testing.
Correct. So that means you want to start. Yeah. What is exit criteria? Not you again, not you. Someone else. Exit.
A single document commemorating the end of life cycle phase.
Correct. So that's mainly stopping. Yeah, that's good. So, and we talked about test management process. We mentioned two of it before we break those two. Who remember? If you've answered, don't talk again. I think Emmanuel just talked now or so. Someone talked now, so you can't. So who else? Who is going to?
Metric based estimation and effort based.
No. No, I said when we start. When we started the test management process, there are two.
Test planning and test execution.
Test estimation.
Monitoring.
No, test planning and test execution.
Fantastic, Mokwe. Yeah, thank you, Mikilola. That's the two. Now, in test planning, how many were there? How many points did you mention in test planning? Don't four. Good. Yeah. Apology. 4. Mention one.
Risk analysis. test
Test
estimation,
estimation.
test planning, and test
Planning, test
organization.
Oh, you would have mentioned, okay, you are, don't talk again. Thank you so much. So the next one, execution.
Test monitoring and control.
Correct. Who
Issue
else?
management.
Yes.
Test
Then the
report
last
and
one.
evaluation.
Fantastic. So we also mentioned test estimation. I said there were two of them. Don't talk again, please. Who is, I don't know the name of the person that's got this football. Don't. Next, I mentioned two for test estimation. What is it? Test estimation. There are two approaches.
Accurate test estimates.
No, there were two approaches.
Metric-based and expert-based.
Absolutely, Emmanuel.
Okay,
Absolutely. Yes. So those things, look, all the things that we've been talking about, the technique, talking about this test management, all this STLC, your ICEP testing, when you want to do your ICEP qualification, most of these things are the questions you're going to find there. And they are all also interview questions. Most of the time you'll be asked in interview, difference between exit and entry criteria. So thank you all for tonight's class. In the absence of no question, I welcome you all tomorrow's class, and we'll talk more about text planning and strategy. We would have an overview of it. So I will give you back 2 minutes, just a minute into your clock. You can go and ask.
Please, what time are we starting tomorrow, please?
It is 8 o'clock tomorrow, if I'm totally right.
Sorry, are we going to be using Excel tomorrow?
There's a class immediately right now. Please don't forget that there's a class immediately. So,
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
so
in
thank
1
you
minute.
all.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you all.